not only cause you multiplication, He wants you to stay barren. Not be able to produce fruit at all. Ephesians 6:10-18 says, finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God,
Yes.
so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Keep it there real quick. Keep it there real quick. When we go into Ephesians and we're also talking about the principalities, powers of the airs. There is a real war against your life. And sometimes we get, not everything is to be talked about in fear of the demonic. And at the same time, the balance is that it is real.
Yes.
Right? And it is trying to come up against you. There really are generational curses. There really are things that we have to confront with the Lord that are against our family, our life. That really does exist. And there was something like, how many of you have heard messages on the armor of God?
Yes.
By yourself? Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in here.
Yeah.
And yet, do you pray it over your life every day?
Come on.
It's like something super simple. It's like water. You know? Like, you may love soda. You may love juice. But you don't drink water, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people like, no, I only drink 1 cup a week.
Mm-mm.
You know, because everything else they drink, you know, it's like, don't worry, I can tell.
Oh my God.
This is water. It's one of those things, there's a few things in the Bible that are like, you need to think about this every single day. Right? Like maybe you don't need to think about the genealogy, you know, or go into Deuteronomy or the Numbers. You may not need to think about that every single day, but you should pray the armor of God over your life.
Yes. Yes.
Number one, it puts into your mind the fact that you're still at war. You know? That the enemy attacks. Okay? It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And if it's not in the forefront of your mind, all of a sudden you get into a confrontation and it's like, where did this come from? Lord, how can you allow this to happen?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Things, and I'm not saying that we don't question. We're human beings. Yes. But the Lord in His mercy and grace will bring us understanding. Yes. But this is something that you prepare for. Yes. That's why the bride of Christ that's not prepared for war is a bride that's going to get run over. Not prepared. So I like how it says, take a stand against what? Schemes. It's good wording. Schemes. Right? What are schemes? Plans, little tricks.
Yeah.
And like, he has had at least, let's say, without getting into deep theological debate of how old Satan is. Let's say that him and the rest of the angels that came down, that fell, 6,500 years. That's how long we have human history, actual human written history. At least 6 and some change. He had, and then the Lord made humans right after He fell. So let's say 6,500 years He has on human behavior when He tempts you. Okay? Let's just say, has He seen, like, it's us as human beings, and how many of you have ever said, yeah, I've seen it all. We haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
A person of 80 years, how do they compare to a person who lived 300?
No.
Right? How do they compare to a person who's lived 6,500? At least. An interdimensional being who had access to God. Who knew how the human beings were even going to be made. Right? Because the Bible talks about in Psalms 32 about the heavenly council.
Yeah.
How they were together. That wasn't a human council. He's talking about the heavenlies. Like, there was nothing hidden. They know. So let's just say that he has at least 6,500. At least. To know how humans operate, what makes them tick, what pushes them, what pulls them, how to tempt them. Tempting them in power, lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. Right? Having low self-esteem, having high self-esteem. How to bring them, pull them, every type of situation. Black, brown, yellow, doesn't matter. Every need. And here comes us. You're just not going to prepare today. Even though he knows exactly what had made me fall before. He knew exactly the things that, and this is without even being in our mind. And being omniscient, having all power of all knowing. Some of you, we don't even need that much. I don't know if any of you have ever studied anything that has to do with linguistics. Like, to talk to Will and ask him certain questions, and by the way he kind of moves his eyes, he'll give me cues into what he's thinking. It's speaking to Will the sales. That's huge. Huge. Right? Because people will use it to manipulate. They'll use that to see what someone may be thinking and then put inside of them what to think. Master salespeople will have you close yourself. Have you think it's a good idea to buy that car. $5,000 over what you can find in another place. Like master salesman, and you're telling me Satan can't do that? Using situations, using. So the armor of the Lord equips you. Let's start. Okay, verse 12. See where it begins. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the power of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Verse 13. Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist. You are bombarded every single day with lies. This belt keeps everything in place. Right? When the belt of the armor, it would keep, without it, everything else would fall apart. It is the belt of truth. And now more than ever, before people used to get information by somebody just coming into town and then notifying what is happening orally, bringing information from town to town. That's how they would find out. Heralds would come up and be able to tell people. They'll go to the ruler of the city and tell them what's happening, and then they'll spread the rest of the information. Now you have everything on a phone. Our teenagers have more access to information than anyone else before us. Right? They have more information than the libraries of Alexandria. On the phone. And they use it for Minecraft. Oh. Isn't that crazy though? We have better access. Okay, here we go. So, the belt of truth buckled around your waist with the breastplate of righteousness in place. Now, who? Are you righteous because of yourself?
No.
Why are we righteous?
Jesus.
Because of our faith in Jesus Christ. No faith, no breastplate of righteousness. What does the breastplate protect?